I'm Olivia Felicia.
I'm Lily Collins.
I'm Olivia Minney.
And I'm Cassidy Frieling.
And we're going to be presenting on the impact of the Tiger King documentary on perceptions of facility use and interactions with big cats. So past studies have found a correlation between media and public opinion, particularly noted with the Blackfish effect and the Blue Planet 2 effect. Following the release of Blue Planet 2, there was a correlation to a brief period of reduced use of plastic products among viewers. However, it was not determined that this would be a lasting effect. More similar to what might be happening following the release of Netflix's Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, the release of Blackfish sparked such strong feelings among the public towards orca captivity, management, and trainer safety that there was a resulting cancellation of partnerships with SeaWorld, denial of MMPA permits to obtain cetaceans at other facilities, such as the Georgia Aquarium, and the creation of the Orca Protection Act. With Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, the new hot topics in social media became the individuals spotlighted in the show. Posts about the show and its focal people appeared on many social media platforms. With the public's eye on these facilities, questions of the welfare of big cat species, particularly tigers, and animal facility management also became a controversial topic. Now we're seeing legislation lobbied for by Carol Baskin, a subject of the documentary, as well as a push for the Big Cat Safety Act. What our study aims to measure is the effect that this docuseries had on changing public perceptions of management of big cats in various facilities and our interactions with big cats.
We developed, programmed, and coded a survey in Qualtrics predominantly using a 7-point Likert scale for perceptions involving many subjects, such as for or non-profit organizations, reintroduction programs, and attitudes surrounding controversial subjects and opinions related to animal rights controversies to get an in-depth look as to the relationship between the docuseries and the realities of these topics in the animal studies field. With our survey, there were significant number of questions aimed on the focus of the 3 featured facilities, which were Joe Exotic's GW Zoo, Carol Baskin's Big Cat Rescue, and Doc Antle's Tigers. We also included specific scales such as the Bounds inventory of desirable responding and the analytic versus intuitive thinking scale to gauge the effect of response bias, which allowed us to view the depth of complexity of each response. Our survey was administered through social media platforms as well as Amazon MTurk platform from July to September in 2020 for a total of about 2 months, in which we got 161 responses and were later recorded and used for analysis.
So as Lily mentioned, we implemented several scales to assess for reliability and analytical thinking across our survey participants. After comparison, it was determined that the greater majority of the participants were rated as thinking not analytically while they were taking the questionnaire. Preliminary results also suggested that the relation that participants had with the analytical scale had significant correlations to their critical thinking and understanding of management topics, such as things like reintroduction or breeding programs. Other findings include significant trends in describing the 3 featured facility owners. In our first graphic, as you can see, individuals were asked how they would categorize each of the 3 docuseries characters. It was found that Joe Exotic was most rated as for-profit, followed by Doc Antle and Carol Baskin. But Carol Baskin had the highest rating of non-profit out of the 3, but was still rated as for-profit more often. As you can see in our last of the 3 graphics, all 3 characters were rated with a current public perception of generally negative by our participants, while positive and neutral perceptions were options chosen much less. And we'll be able to use assessments like these moving forward through our analyses and guiding our study. We also had larger matrices that focused on specific themes in the docuseries like cub petting, reintroduction, animal care, and professionalism. And we're still in the process of aggregating this matrix data with the intent of running regressions in order to ascertain if there's predictive patterns in the response based on analytical thinking scale and whether or not the participants had or had not viewed the documentary.
So at this moment, our analysis is still ongoing. Moving forward, we plan on comparing any perceptual changes between individuals who viewed versus those who did not in the docuseries, and how or if the attitudes of each of those groups towards big cat welfare and zoological facilities might have changed. We are also investigating the role of desirable responses, bias in perception of zoos, sanctuaries, big cat welfare, and reintroduction programs. Additionally, we plan to examine what it is that drives viewers to determine whether or which subjects of the show were considered professionals in animal behavior, as well as what factors generally contribute to considering someone a professional in animal behavior or welfare, as we see many of these claims and given credence without necessarily having the background experience and education to support those claims. Finally, another step that we will be taking is working in collaboration with Oakland University and their work in investigating the docuseries. Their focus specifically being about the dark trade personality, characteristics on responses, accreditation of facilities, and environmental attitudes. We would also like to thank everyone who participated in the survey and made this research possible, as well as Dr. Erin Frick, the director of Frick Animal Behavior Lab, for giving us the opportunity to do this study and for her assistance and guidance with this project.